guys, welcome back to Shay Renee Online, where we discuss food, fitness, and reality TV. Okay, in this episode we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I believe this is episode 7. Okay, I'll make sure I put in the comments the correct episode. So as we always start our videos out, we want to do a little bit of house cleaning in this next clip here. Watch.
My opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
And I yell.
Do you not
How
get
do
it?
you know what's
That's
good
my
for
opinion.
me?
All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way. All right, the episode starts with the ladies still at the table over at Mel's house at this Taco About It, Tuesday or whatever. So it basically has Tiffany talking to Destiny, basically saying that she apologizes about how she kind of brought up the situation with the woman, and that she was just merely trying to remind her of how they met and how she actually already knew who she was. Okay. And, Destiny is saying she didn't want to hold a grudge. That's on her. She's not holding a grudge, and that's that, and that's on that. All right. But basically, I feel like Tiffany is still guilty, because that's just probably not the best way to ever say that you know somebody, okay? You could have brought that up and pulled her to the side or whatever the case may be, and you never know if that was a sore spot, like Destiny said, in her marriage, where that could have been the reason why they were no longer together or whatever the case may be. So for you to bring it up, not only, on national TV, but also on her birthday, and this event is about her, that was really messy and very shady. And I feel like Tiffany was just trying to find a way to be like a fireball in the midst of the situation, okay? And that just wasn't a good look, all right? So, Melody says, have you ever... They played the never guilty game, or never have I ever, or, are you guilty game, or some crap. And they asked, has anybody ever been a side chick? So everyone said never. And then Kimmy kind of straddled the fence a little bit, like, what are you asking? What was the question? I think she acted like she didn't hear it. And then Tisha kind of looked at her like, were you a side chick, Kimmy? Was you a side chick? And, Tisha, first of all, she always thinks somebody want her man. Don't nobody want Marsau but you, ma'am. I'm so sorry. And if he does have some women out here, they stupid too, and they are happy that you are still married to him, because they would not want him full time. I'm just saying, okay? So Destiny ends up, leaving the dinner eventually, because they start having like a shouting match back and forth, because I guess as they're playing the little never have I ever, or are you guilty game, or whatever they were doing, Mel kind of shushes Destiny, like saying, oh, I'm talking, so can you be quiet, or whatever, like kind of shushing Destiny. And Destiny felt like she felt disrespected, like, you're not about to talk to me like I'm one of your children or whatever. So I kind of sided with Destiny with that, because I felt like Mel was just kind of doing too much. And I think that Mel allowed her feelings about Destiny not telling her about the marriage right away, and then her kind of talking to Tisha about whatever that she was upset about. I feel like she is now allowing that to make her overly angry with Destiny, and she's just trying to sun her, you know what I mean, for lack of a better way of saying it. And so Destiny was like, listen, I'm not nobody's child but my mama, and I'm about to leave, okay, because I ain't got time for this. So she shimmied right on up out of there, all right? So in the next scene, Tisha meets Marsau at the Scott Manor space, and she asks Marsau about the update from Uncle Mike. So the house is not ready. To be continued, okay? So she starts to go into talking about Taco Tuesday and telling him about Mel and everything that happened with her friends, and Marsau, hugging up. Then she tells Marsau about Mel letting her know that one of her friends told her that Marsau was hugging up on some chick in Houston, but in actuality, it was actually one of their friends. So it's like, Tisha's like, why does everybody want to paint me out to be the dumb girl and you to be some Casanova out here just sowing your royal oats everywhere, or whatever the case may be. And so Marsau is just like, I don't know, that's not the case, whatever, moving on. So Tisha is like, I want us to go back to therapy, because there are some things that I feel like he was able to help us with. You were able to express yourself to me. I feel like it was a good session, and even though there's nothing going on that's necessarily negative with us, I want to go just so we can make sure we stay on an even playing field and everything stays right. So Marsau said, I'm not going to therapy anymore. I'm done with therapy. I don't need it, and we can work it out ourselves. We're good. And I feel like this is where couples really fall short. You know, when you go to therapy, it's not necessarily because your marriage is in some type of turmoil, which they are having some problems. So Marsau is definitely delusional and out of this world with the way that he's thinking, because they definitely have some stuff going on in their marriage that needs to be discussed, and they need a professional, because clearly he is a professional bullshitter, and Tisha is professionally falling for it. Okay, so they need to have somebody to intervene that's going to help them to actually have those hard conversations, and for her to actually be able to, she said that she has a problem with kind of dictating how she really feels, putting her feelings into word form. So I think she'll be able to tell him through the therapist that I think you're full of shit. And I think Marsau needs to hear her say that, because I think that he really thinks that Tisha believes in his BS. And she shows that she believes in it, which I don't really think. Y'all think Tisha is not dumb. I don't think she's really that dumb. I think that she does not know how to express herself properly, but she puts Marsau in his place when he needs to be at times, okay? So, like when she said, I'll take you for all you got if y'all find out you out here cheating, okay? So she ain't that stupid. She knows where she needs to be at in that relationship. But I think that she's just trying to find a way to tell him, listen, I'm on to you, and don't play with me, okay? But Marsau ain't paying the $5. He don't want to go to therapy, and he encourages her to continue to go by herself if she needs to. And actually, I think that's a good idea. She should continue to go by herself. And if she finds that it really bothers her that Marsau isn't coming and things aren't changing in their relationship the way that she would like, she definitely needs to have a tough conversation with him. All right? So anyway, moving right along, Mel meets Destiny to discuss her issues with Mel. So Mel goes over to Destiny's house. She brings a watermelon in the house, which we find out what the watermelon was actually for later on. So she brings a watermelon into the house, and she's asked, is the baby here or whatever? Is Law here? And Destiny says, no, Law isn't here. And Destiny says, yeah, because that's the girl's little boyfriend, trying to ease into the conversation. And Destiny's like, yeah, he loves the girls. Anyway, moving right along. I felt like you really was disrespectful. Like, Destiny was like, listen, don't bullshit me, Belle. I know, what you came here for, okay? And we're going to have this conversation. We're going to hash it out, all right? So Destiny says, explains that she didn't appreciate Mel forcing the conversation on her at her house and to discuss their issues. She wanted to have the conversation like they're doing right now, one-on-one. And she also didn't like how she downplayed what Tiffany did and how she shushed her. So Mel, I hate that Mel does this all that little stuff. I'm like, girl, grow up. We are not 11 years old anymore. Like, seriously, your friend is trying to have a serious conversation with you, and you over here twitching your face up and moving your body around and all this, that, and the third. Talk to your friend. You want her to talk to you. You want her to have these hard conversations with you and tell you about her business. She's telling you that you are now my business because you are starting to get under my skin and I don't like it. As your friend, I don't want to be feeling like this towards you. So she's trying to have a real grown-up adult conversation, and Mel is just being immature. And frankly, I love you, Mel, but I ain't like that. That was kind of silly. Not kind of, it was, okay? So Mel is basically, I'm not one of your kids. I'm not Law. And because, Destiny says, I'm not one of the kids. I'm not Martell. So I feel like they were just having a bit of a dick measuring contest right there, just to kind of let each other know, listen, I ain't no punk. You ain't no punk bitch. I ain't no punk bitch. We need to move on. So I don't know if they really left resolving anything, honestly, because Mel continued to downplay, saying that she didn't think that Tiffany meant anything by it, when Destiny is sitting here telling you that she didn't appreciate that. And Mel wouldn't have liked it if somebody had come up and talked about old coleslaw, telling her, oh yeah, I saw Martell at a restaurant with coleslaw, and with our Ariane, or whatever the girl's name is. Everybody been calling her coleslaw, but I saw Martell in a restaurant with Ariane, and or I saw him with a woman and he just got an award and it wasn't you, and then I met you the next day. Mel wouldn't want to hear that shit. So I don't understand why she is, I don't know, Tiffany must be her friend, and she's really trying to, put her in the midst of this friend circle some kind of way. But this ain't the way to do it. Don't throw your friend to the wolves to get this girl in the circle. I'm just saying. So they ended the scene with them basically saying, okay, are we still friends? If the watermelon, this is what the watermelon was for. If the watermelon isn't sweet, then we can't be friends no more. If the watermelon's sweet and it tastes good, then we gonna stay sweet as friends and we gonna move forward. That was cute and all, but I feel like they really didn't resolve anything. So I can see this kind of blowing up again. You can't just throw just throw a blanket over the situation, because it's still dirty up underneath it. So I think Mel needs to acknowledge Destiny's feelings and stop trying to downplay the stuff that Tiffany is doing. And if you're not a part of it, I just feel like Mel's just wearing this executive producer hat a lot this season, and I really don't like it. I think her authenticity is being corrupted because she's trying so hard to make sure that the show does well, which you don't need to do all of these extra antics. You need to just remain authentic. That's what drives people to watch the show. Okay? So moving right along, Tisha, Marsau, and Maurice have a party for the boys at Black to celebrate their graduations, because Monsters graduate. All of them are all graduating from middle school, I guess, and going to high school. And this is going to be their first year. So the men all have, sentimental conversations with the boys and explaining to them about this is a crucial time in their life. They're growing up, and how everybody is there to support them and love on them and really just see them through these next 4 years, pivotal years of their life, going through to high school and then on to college, hopefully. So really kudos to the parents for doing something nice for the boys like this. Seems like they had like this big bus for the kids, and then all of the adults migrated into Black, okay, for the adult version of the party. So Martell and Mel arrive, and Martell hugs Mel, child, Lord, which was so damn awkward. Like, Martell, you really love this woman and you still want her. You shouldn't have screwed her over, because I know you over there looking real stupid and miserable with Ariane, little dumb butt, because I know y'all done seen all the stuff that her little immature tail been posting online, but we'll just talk about that in another video. But anyway, moving right along, Maurice sits down with Tiffany and Lewis to discuss the situation with Monster, which I really was happy that this scene happened. I think that this was very necessary, because for Tiffany to bring up something so huge that happened in Monster's life on television without consulting his parents, I think Maurice did a nice job of keeping his composure, because you could tell that he was definitely angry. But he kept his composure throughout the conversation with her, very respectful, but it was very much so needed. So kudos to you, Maurice, being a proud Black dad, taking care of your son and his image, because with this being a national television show, this was a serious thing that this woman brought up. Monster plays football, he's into sports and things like that. You never want his issues in his life to override his talent, because so many people derive their own opinion about people, especially us being Black. We have it worse, which is basically all the things that Maurice discussed. But we have it worse with people already counting us out. We can't be counting each other out and putting each other down. And I think that Tiffany I don't think she understands the severity of what she did. Even though she ended up crying, I really didn't feel sorry for her, because you wouldn't have wanted somebody to do that to your son. And I think a lot of people need to really, before you say and do certain things, think about how the stuff that you say is going to affect you if somebody did it to you. So anyway, Maurice tells Tiffany that it wasn't her place to bring that up, and she should have pulled them to the side if she had anything to say about the incident. Then he asked her, so who told you about the situation? Because, you know, if somebody told you this and that's why you're bringing the information up, you know, I'm going to have a problem with them too, because they're also out here spreading my business and didn't get my permission to be talking about my son. Okay? And, you know, Tiffany, like I said, she begins to cry and she's emotional. And Lewis, of course, being her husband, he's going to have her back and saying, you know, she really isn't a malicious person. A lot of times Tiff just says what comes to mind. And here's my thing, Lewis. I understand that's your husband, your wife, and you want to protect her. And because that's her husband, that's your job, right? But you need to check your wife. Because if she had did that to your son or her son, you know, I'm sure y'all are collectively saying our sons, whatever. If somebody had came up to her and brought up one of your son's mistakes like that on national TV, especially, you would have been pissed with a capital P. So I'm glad that y'all got checked on TV because you tried it on TV. So I'm glad you got checked on TV. And that's just my opinion. And that's that on that. Okay? So moving right along, Wanda is inside being messy, okay, and as they're going back and forth, and I'm glad that Kiowa actually came over and she chimed in too, because as Monster's mom, I feel like it's important for her to express her feelings as to how this bothered her. And I did see where Maurice was like, I didn't even tell Kimmy, you know, I had only talked to Kiowa about it because that's his mom, but I'm like, Kimmy is your wife. That's your partner. And she does have a huge part in Monster's upbringing. So you should have been talking to her about it too, sir. Okay? So while messy Wanda is over here, child, I don't know what she trying to do with Martell and Mel, because that is just not going to happen, messy Wanda. Okay? So Wanda comes back with, you know, hairspray and all, and says she's always loved both Mel and Martell. And she says she has 2 husbands. Everybody know I got 2 husbands, y'all. Girl, you shouldn't glorify that. Taking 2 dicks, whatever. Anyway, she says she knew he was, and Mel knew that he was messing around, meaning Martell was messing around with coleslaw, and Martell tried to walk away. Martell tries to walk away as Wanda was talking about coleslaw, meaning Ariane, okay? And Wanda asked Mel, does she think she will find somebody that won't cheat and accept her 4 children? And she says that guy will not be perfect. And Mel's like, yes, I will find somebody, and I don't care. They don't have to be perfect, but I'm not going to be with Martell, and I'm not going to be with nobody that's disrespecting me and cheating on me. And you're basically saying that it's okay. I should have just allowed Martell to treat me bad. And Wanda's like, no, I don't think that you should allow him to treat you bad. I just think that you guys she basically was trying to say that she thinks that they still have love for each other. So she asked Martell if he still loves Melody. And he said he'll always love Melody. You know, and Mel, I don't even think she responded, child. And Lord knows she shouldn't. Excuse me, y'all. So, anyway, moving right along. Mel says, well, you marry his ass then. Because she's like, I'm done with Martell. That chapter is over and that ship has sailed and sank like the Titanic, okay? We are done. And I'm glad, because here's my thing. In our society, we should stop coaching women into dealing with mediocrity. Men aren't going to deal with us cheating, so why should we deal with them cheating? And if it's going to be a free-for-all, let's just say that's what it is, okay? But that's not what it's going to be. That's not the requirement for you to be with her. So she requires someone to respect her and be monogamous. Martell cannot do that. So we had a good run. We have 4 beautiful children out of it. I'm going to move on with my life, and I'm going to be with somebody that's going to respect me out in these streets and in private, okay? Because you, sir, cannot do that. You, Mr. Martell. And that's that on that. And Ariane, I don't know what you think is going to be different with you, ma'am. But he done already been on dates, allegedly, from photos of people showing him online. So clearly a leopard didn't change his doggone spots. I'm just saying. So Martell goes outside with the men, which I think was a good move, okay? And he going out there blushing, just a blushing after saying he still love Melody, child. So Wanda says to Mel, she should give Martell a chance to be her man. And again, Mel says, how will you marry his ASS? And the men ask Martell if he would ever get back with Mel. And Martell makes this comment of saying, you know, I don't know where things will go and where things will land. And basically, like, he don't know what the future may hold. Martell, I'm here to tell you right now, you're not getting back together. It's not happening. If Mel is the strong woman that she is running around portraying, the ship has sailed and you have lost. There will be no return of the Mac, okay? You are now done, okay? That thing is doo-opped and over, all right? So that's that. I'm just saying, let it go, sir. Let it go. Ship sailed. You're done. Take care of your children. That's what you need to do. Because quiet as it's kept, and allegedly, Mel already got a new man, and he's way better than you. So keep on sneaking out on dates and letting Ariane record your hands, allegedly. All right, so next episode, I am interested to see how this whole situation plays out, where I think they begin to start talking about Ariane some more. And according to Ariane's live that she did, allegedly, her voice is played again in the next episode and she's talking and whatnot. So I don't even know why they're giving this chick any airtime whatsoever, because here's my thing. No matter how much Martell is with her now or whatever, you knew that he was a married man, okay? And yes, most side chicks anonymous are going to say, well, she's not committed to the woman. But guess what, ho? You wouldn't want nobody sleeping with your husband or your man. So why are people out here condoning her behavior? No, she was not married to Mel, but she did absolutely know that that was somebody's husband and the father to 4 children in that marriage, okay? So whatever you get out of this man is what you deserve. Side chick coleslaw that nobody ever eats. Everyone throws the coleslaw in the trash anyway, so that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm going to go with. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and hit that notification bell so you can know when I come back on. Ta-ta for now.